Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are tackling a pretty ambitious question. Can Dojima Network, this new player in the blockchain world, actually become, like the number one hub for everything Web3? I'm going through this report from Token Metrics on them, and let me tell you, it's pretty wild. It's got me thinking about all sorts of possibilities, but also a little bit skeptical, got to be honest. Basically, Dojima's goal is to be the platform that connects all these different blockchains out there, kind of like a universal translator for the whole crypto world, which sounds awesome in theory, but they're not the only ones trying to do this, right? There are some serious contenders already in the game. Plus, Dojima's trying to raise a cool $4 million to make their vision a reality. Yeah, $4 million. So there's a lot to unpack here, and luckily I've got our incredible expert speaker here to help us make sense of it all, ready to dive in.
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Perfect. So this report keeps mentioning this phrase, omni-channel layer for Web3. Yeah, I get that omni usually means all, but what does this actually mean when we're talking about blockchain? And more importantly, why should our listeners even care?
That's the key question, right? So think of it this way. Right now, most blockchains are kind of like isolated kingdoms, each with their own rules, their own way of doing things, and it can be a real pain to move assets or information between them. Dojima wants to change that by building bridges between these kingdoms, creating this seamless flow of data and value across the entire blockchain landscape.
Okay, so picture this. You want to send some of your crypto over from, say, Ethereum to Solana, but there's no easy way to do it. Dojima's like, hold my beer, I'm building a bridge.
Exactly. And that's why you, the listener, should care. This omni-channel layer could mean easier transactions, lower fees, and just way less hassle when you're navigating the world of Web3.
Okay, that does sound pretty game-changing. But the report also talks about all these other bridges and layer 2 solutions popping up. What are those? And are they like Dojima's rivals in this bridge building contest?
Oh yeah, the competition's definitely heating up. Think of layer 2 solutions as adding like express lanes to those blockchain highways. They make things faster and cheaper, but within a single blockchain. Bridges, on the other hand, are like those literal bridges we were talking about, connecting different blockchain ecosystems.
So Dojima's trying to build the Golden Gate Bridge of blockchain, while others are building smaller bridges or just adding extra lanes.
That's a great analogy. And yeah, those other projects are definitely competition. We're talking about some big names here. Thorchain, Layer 0, Axelar Network. They're already attracting a lot of users and developers.
Whoa, okay, some serious players. But hold on, the market research from Grandview Research has this crazy projection, like 87.7% annual growth of the blockchain industry until 2030. Is that just hype, or is the opportunity really that massive? Because if it is, there might be room for multiple bridge builders, right?
It's a wild number for sure. And it definitely reflects the huge potential of blockchain. But projections are just that, projections. The reality is this blockchain interoperability space is getting crowded fast. Dojima will have to prove they can stand out from the crowd.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of Dojima's platform. The report breaks it down into three key pieces: an Omnichain Layer 1 functionality as a service, and a cross-chain wallet. Can you explain those for us and maybe try to make it fun? This is the deep dive, not Blockchain 101.
You got it. Imagine Dojima's Omnichain Layer 1 as like the bedrock, the very foundation of their whole bridge building empire. It's where all the magic of connecting the different blockchains happens.
So it's not just a bridge, it's the land the bridge is built on.
Exactly. Now, on top of that bedrock, they've got this cool thing called functionality as a service. Think of it like Dojima giving developers a toolbox of ready-made Lego blocks to build their own cross-chain apps so they don't have to start from scratch. They can just focus on the cool, innovative stuff.
Oh, I like this. So instead of each developer having to build their own bridge from scratch, Dojima's like, here's a prefab kit, go wild, build your awesome cross-chain castle on top. And what about that cross-chain wallet? Is that like a special passport to travel between all these blockchain kingdoms?
Exactly. Right now, you'd need a different wallet for each blockchain, which is a pain.
Yeah.
Dojima's cross-chain wallet lets you manage all your crypto, no matter what blockchain it's on, all in one place.
Okay, so Dojima's going for simplicity and convenience. I could see why that would be appealing to both developers and users. But there's this line in the report that caught my eye. Dojima claims its edge is being a complete package. Is that just marketing fluff, or is there something more to it?
Well, there's definitely some marketing savvy there for sure, but it's not just hype. A lot of blockchain solutions are like puzzle pieces, and developers are constantly having to search for the missing parts. Dojima's trying to provide everything: the bedrock, the toolbox, the passport, the whole shebang.
Ah, so they're the one-stop shop for all your cross-chain needs. That could be a powerful differentiator, especially if they can really deliver on that simplicity.
Exactly. But remember those established players we talked about, they're not just sitting around, they've got their own strengths and they're constantly innovating too.
All right, so the competition is fierce. But Dojima seems to have a clear vision and a solid roadmap. Speaking of which, the report says they're aiming to launch their Staginet and Mainnet, basically a test run and the official launch by the end of this year. Plus, they're introducing their own token, DOJ. What does all that mean for Dojima's quest for blockchain domination?
Launching a mainnet is like opening the doors to their bridge-building empire. It's the moment of truth, when developers can actually start building real applications, and users can finally start crossing those bridges. And the DOJ token, well, that's the fuel that will power this whole ecosystem.
Ooh, this is getting interesting. It sounds like we're about to dive into the world of tokenomics. But before we do, I have one more question about that roadmap. Is it even realistic for them to pull off a mainnet launch this year? That seems super ambitious given how complex blockchain development is.
It's definitely a tight timeline, and it'll be a major test of their ability to execute. Launching a mainnet is no small feat, especially when you're aiming for a platform as ambitious as Dojima. But if they can pull it off, it'll send a strong signal to the market that they're serious contenders.
High risk, high reward, huh? All right, well, let's see what this DOJ token is all about and how it fits into their plan for global blockchain bridge building dominance. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors.
And we're back, ready to unpack the DOJ token.
All right, let's do it. So this DOJ token, it's the fuel that's supposed to power this whole Dojima network, right? I'm still wrapping my head around how they're going to launch this mainnet this year. But for now, let's focus on the token itself. What makes it so special?
Well, the DOJ token is more than just like a digital asset. It actually represents the value being created within this whole Dojima ecosystem. It's designed to encourage people to participate, reward users, and ultimately drive the growth of the whole platform.
Okay, I'm listening. Break it down for me. For our listeners, of course. How does this token actually work within the Dojima world?
So think of it this way. Every time you cross one of Dojima's bridges, you pay a small toll in DOJ tokens. This helps keep the bridges maintained and secure.
So it's like the gas that keeps the engine running. Makes sense.
Exactly. But it's more than just transactions. DOJ token holders also get to vote on important decisions that shape the future of the Dojima network.
Wait, so owning DOJ tokens gives you a say in how the platform evolves. That's pretty cool. It's like having a voice in how the bridges are built and where they lead.
Precisely. It's all about community ownership and governance, which is a core principle of the decentralized world Dojima's building. Oh, and of course, there's staking.
Right, staking. We touched on that earlier. But maybe a quick refresher for our listeners. How does staking work with the DOJ token? And what's the benefit for folks who decide to stake their tokens?
Staking is like becoming a bridge guardian. You're pledging your DOJ tokens to help secure the network. And in return, you earn rewards. It's a win-win.
So the more DOJ tokens you stake, the more you contribute to the network's security, and the more rewards you earn. It's like being a shareholder in this bridge-building empire.
That's a great way to put it. It really aligns the incentives of everyone involved. The stronger and more secure the network is, the more valuable the DOJ token becomes.
Okay, so we've got transaction fees, governance rights, and staking, all powered by this DOJ token. But let's be real. The big question is, will this token actually be worth anything? I mean, there are thousands of crypto tokens out there. What makes DOJ stand out?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It all boils down to the success of the Dojima platform itself. If they can actually deliver on what they're promising, attract a big community of developers and users, and build a truly valuable ecosystem, then the DOJ token will probably reflect that success.
So it's all connected. The platform's success fuels the token's value, and the token's value supports the platform's growth. It's like a symbiotic relationship.
Exactly. But it's a delicate balance. The Dojima team has to carefully manage the token supply and distribution to avoid inflation and make sure it's stable in the long run. It's a tricky thing to get right, but they seem to understand the challenges.
Okay, so a lot riding on this DOJ token. If Dojima doesn't get the tokenomics right, their whole bridge-building empire could collapse.
There's definitely a risk there. Tokenomics are super important in the crypto world, but if they can find that balance between scarcity, utility, and community engagement, the DOJ token could become a really valuable asset in the Web3 space.
All right, so Dojima has this big vision, potentially game-changing technology, and a token to power it all. But I keep coming back to this question. Why should someone choose Dojima over all those other cross-chain platforms? What's their secret sauce?
It's a tough market, no doubt about it. But remember, they're focusing on being that complete package. They're providing the infrastructure, the tools, a user-friendly experience, and a strong community focus. They're not just building a bridge, they're building a whole ecosystem that's designed to be accessible and rewarding for everyone.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal. But let's play devil's advocate for a minute. Say I'm a developer who's already comfortable using other cross-chain platforms. What would make me switch to Dojima? What's their unique selling point?
It's a good question, and honestly, that's the challenge Dojima's facing. They need to explain their value proposition really clearly to both developers and users. They need to showcase the advantages of their platform, whether it's superior technology, lower fees, better security, or a more supportive community.
So they need to shout their advantages from the rooftops. Hey world, look at our awesome bridges. They're faster, smoother, and have the best views.
Exactly. They need to make some noise and get people excited about what they're building. The technology is important, don't get me wrong, but so is marketing and community engagement.
It makes sense. It's not just about building a better bridge. It's about convincing people to actually cross it.
Precisely. And that's where things get really interesting. Building a successful blockchain platform, it's as much about social dynamics as it is about technological innovation.
So it's like they need to build a bridge to the hearts and minds of the crypto community.
You got it. They need to create a buzz, generate excitement, and cultivate a loyal following. That's what's ultimately going to drive adoption and make Dojima a force to be reckoned with.
All right, so we've talked about Dojima's vision, their technology, and the crucial role of that DOJ token. We've even touched on the art of blockchain marketing. But there's one big piece of the puzzle we haven't discussed yet, the risks.
You're absolutely right. Every quest has its dragons, and the world of blockchain is no exception. Dojima's facing some serious challenges. And we need to understand those risks before we can really assess their chances of success.
Okay, I can feel the suspense building. All right, listeners, we're about to enter the dragon's lair. Get ready to face the risks head-on in part 3 of our Dojima Deep Dive. Don't go anywhere. And we're back for the final part of our Dojima Deep Dive. So we've covered a lot of ground. Dojima's vision, their tech, that interesting DOJ token. But as with any ambitious venture, there are always risks involved, things that could make or break their success. Ready to face those dragons.
Let's do it. Every innovation has its challenges, so let's see what Dojima's up against.
This report from Token Metrics points out 2 big ones: fierce competition and the whole unpredictable regulatory landscape of blockchain. Let's start with the competition. We've talked about these established players like Thorchain and Layer Zero. How much of a threat are they to Dojima?
Oh, they're definitely major players for sure. They've got these loyal communities already, robust features, and backing from some serious crypto heavyweights.
So Dojima's kind of like the underdog here.
You could say that, but remember David beat Goliath, right? Dojima's got some things going for them that could give them an edge.
Okay, I like the sound of that. What are those secret weapons? We talked about their focus on simplicity and being a complete package. But is that enough to take on the giants?
Well, simplicity is a powerful thing, especially in blockchain where things can get really complicated. If Dojima can really make cross-chain transactions as easy as like ordering a pizza online, that would be huge for users. And the complete package approach could attract a lot of developers. You know, the ones who are tired of having to piece together solutions from different providers.
So they want to be like the Apple of the cross-chain world. Sleek, intuitive, everything just works.
That's a great way to put it. But user experience alone won't be enough. They need to innovate on the technology side too. Think faster transaction speeds, lower fees, maybe even connecting to blockchains that no one else has bridged to yet.
Okay, now that's exciting. It's like they're not just building bridges, they're inventing new ways to fly.
Exactly. That's the kind of thinking that could really set them apart. But even with the best technology, the most user-friendly platform, there's this other challenge lurking in the shadows regulation.
Right, that unpredictable beast.
Yeah.
Governments are still trying to figure out this whole blockchain thing. What kind of regulatory hurdles could trip Dojima up?
Well, it's kind of a wild west out there right now.
Yeah.
And the rules can change really quickly. New laws could impact how Dojima operates, how they use the DOJ token, even whether they can operate in certain countries.
So they're building these amazing bridges, but the ground underneath could shift at any moment.
That's the challenge. Dojima needs to be flexible, adaptable, and really proactive in working with regulators to navigate this uncertain landscape. They might even need to build different types of bridges, depending on the specific regulations in each region.
Wow, that's a lot to manage. It sounds like Dojima's quest is full of danger. Any other threats we should be aware of?
Oh, there are always more. Security is absolutely crucial in blockchain. Dojima needs to have top-notch defenses to protect against hackers and keep users' funds safe. One security breach could ruin everything.
That's a scary thought. It's like those dragons are always circling looking for a weak spot.
Exactly. And then there's scalability. As more people start using Dojima's bridges, can their network actually handle all that traffic?
Right. You don't want those bridges collapsing under the weight of too many people trying to cross at once.
Exactly. Dojima needs to make sure their technology can scale to handle mass adoption.
Okay, so we've got competition, regulation, security, scalability. Those are some serious dragons. Makes you wonder, is it even worth all the risk? What's the payoff if Dojima actually overcomes all these challenges?
Well, the potential rewards are huge. If Dojima achieves their vision of this seamless, interoperable Web3, it could change the world as we know it.
Okay, I'm all ears. Paint me a picture of this glorious future.
Imagine a world where you can send money, data, digital assets across any blockchain instantly with almost no fees. A world where developers can create apps that work seamlessly across different ecosystems, unlocking all sorts of new innovation.
Wow, it's like breaking down all the walls between blockchains and creating one giant interconnected digital city.
Exactly. And in this city, users have true ownership and control over their data and their digital identities. That's the promise of Dojima's vision, and it's a future worth fighting for.
That's an inspiring vision for sure. But after exploring all these potential pitfalls and lurking dragons, what's your gut feeling? Does Dojima actually have what it takes to become this central hub for Web3?
It's tough to say for certain. The blockchain world is constantly changing. Anything can happen. But Dojima has a strong team, a compelling vision, and they're tackling a really important problem.
So you're cautiously optimistic.
I think that's a fair assessment. They've got a long road ahead. But if they can execute their plan and navigate the regulations and stay ahead of the technology curve, I think they have a real shot at success.
Well, there you have it, folks. We've explored the potential of Dojima Network, their ambitious goals, their innovative technology, and the challenges they face. Now it's up to you to decide. Do you think Dojima will become the central hub for Web3? Or will they be defeated by those lurking dragons? Keep an eye on this space because the future of Web3 is being shaped right now. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.